Hey guys, so World Polio Day is coming up. Is it a day when everyone gets polio? No. It's a day when we celebrate that almost no one gets polio. But we'd like to celebrate a day when it's completely in our past. Polio may be 99.9% eradicated, but that last 0.1% is going to be tough. Until we end the disease forever, we must continue to immunize every single child. How can you help us finish the job? By lending your voice on social media and donating, we can end a human disease for the second time in history. And now, your donation to Rotary will be tripled by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Tripled. That's pretty cool. We're this close to making polio a thing of the past. Help us end polio now and make history today.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, where Tulsa's finest business and community leaders gather each and every Wednesday to do good things here in Tulsa and around the world. And this is an awesome club. Last week, we gave away or donated $35,000 to 9 service organizations here in town that we're partnering with that are reaching out and giving people in this community a hand up. So I think you all deserve a thank you for that. Your generosity is just amazing. And so this week, we have Stephanie Cameron speaking, and I get to sit up here with 2 of the rising star young professionals in Tulsa. And so I just love Rotary Wednesdays. I love Rotary Wednesdays. Let's take a moment to say hello to each other. We're back. We're back. Thank you. Some great chatter going on there. Thank you, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. Kathy Gorell is going to lead us in our invocation. Bill Miller is going to lead us in song and pledge. And then Carl Vincent will introduce our visitors. Kathy.
Will you join me in prayer? Lord, once again we come to you with thankful hearts for the opportunities that we often take for granted in our great country. For freedoms we enjoy, the ability to work, to create, and to make a difference. We acknowledge that you are our creator and have gifted each of us with skills and intellect, not to indulge ourselves, but to serve others in our community and in the world. With so many tragedies from coast to coast, Lord, we pray for families with loved ones killed or maimed in the Las Vegas massacre. We pray for those still struggling from hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Marie, and Nate, and particularly our neighbors in Puerto Rico. For all those in California suffering from the fires who have lost lives and properties, our hearts are heavy with all of the tragedy of our day. Heighten our level of compassion to give of ourselves and our resources to make a difference to our neighbors. We thank you once again for this food and fellowship that we enjoy. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Let's sing today a cappella, God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. I get the privilege of introducing our host Rotarians and their visitors, as well as visiting Rotarians from other clubs. Before I do that, by a show of hands briefly, how many enjoy the time to walk around and network for just a moment or two before we engage the meeting? Thank you very much. We'll recognize host Rotarians and their visitors. They'll rise for a moment. We'll hold our applause until we've introduced all of them. When we call out the visiting Rotarians, we'll do a rowdy hi Rotarian, and then we'll move on. Our first host today is Andrew Ralston, who's hosting Zach Stoikoff with the Tulsa Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us. Curtis Craig is hosting Darren Fuqua of BOK Financial Corporation. Kathy Gurrell is hosting Elizabeth Favell of Stillwater National Bank. One of the people on the dais, Kyan Kamas, has Jack Graham with the City of Tulsa who's joining us today. John Howland is hosting Haley Drusen. She's with Rosenstein Fisk and works with John. David Wagner is hosting Sarah Fry of New View, and Sarah's a prospective member. We love to have as many of those as we can. Our speaker, Stephanie, is hosting Maggie Hoey of TyPros, who I met earlier today. There she is. And Michael and Dana Burks are hosting Kelly Mathis of DSS Computers. Kelly sells mainframe computers. Stephanie Cameron, our speaker, is also hosting Hollis McAllister of TyPros. Thank you. Monica Martin is hosting Allie Lightly of Resolute PR. Allie was here a couple weeks ago when we introduced Stuart Price. Former President John Raines is hosting Arda Bullock, also of IMAX. Longtime member Greg Keck is hosting Michael Knotts of Jackie Cooper Imports. Thank you, and thank you, hosts and guests, for joining us. We have one visiting Rotarian today, Stan Grogg from the Sunrise Club. Hi, Stan. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kathy, Bill, and Carl. Appreciate your help. Bill, do you just wake up with a song on your lips every morning? If I had a voice like that, I would. I appreciate your talent. So thank you, visitors, for joining us today. We hope you'll consider joining us in membership here. We are a growing club, and we are adding some really strong members to this very strong team already. And I promise you, if you join us, you'll be working on some great projects in our community, and you'll be working alongside some of Tulsa's finest business and community leaders, and before long, they'll be your best friends. So thank you for making the time for us this week. So our meeting sponsors this week are Doug Padgett with Pendergraph Systems and Chuck Wilson with Associated Mortgage Corporation. As always, we encourage you to do business with your fellow Rotarians. In addition to our meeting sponsors, I'd also like to thank our meeting volunteers this week, our Rotarians in Service. Let's give them a round of applause for their work that they do. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes putting one of these awesome programs together every week, and so I appreciate them. At this time, we have a memorial resolution for our good friend Bill Winfrey. Chuck?
William Lafayette Winfrey Jr., we called him Bill, was born in Bushy Head, Oklahoma. Anyone know where Bushy Head, Oklahoma? Look at that. I'm impressed. 3 days after Christmas in 1926 to Pearl Ursula Haberther Winfrey and William Lafayette Winfrey. Shortly after his birth, his family moved to western Colorado, where his father farmed and ranched near the small town of Eckert. A longtime Tulsan, Bill was known for his cheerful demeanor and enthusiastic storytelling. He died at the age of 90 on June 6, 2017. After high school, Bill studied briefly at the University of Colorado in Boulder. In 1944, near the end of World War II, he enlisted in the Navy. This was shortly after the death of his beloved older brother, Clifford, a Navy pilot who died while serving his country. Bill attained the rank of FC Third Class and served as a fireman on the destroyer escort, the USS Straub, in the Pacific. Bill then finished his studies at the University of Colorado in 1950, majoring in finance with a minor in accounting. He was a member of Tau Kappa Epsilon and Delta Sigma Pi. Shortly after graduation, he landed a job with Dun & Bradstreet, for whom he worked his entire career. He started as an analyst in the Denver office, driving around the little towns of eastern Colorado and interviewing small business owners. Over 3 decades later, he retired as the national accounts representative for the state of Oklahoma. Bill was married to Mary Jane Mickle Winfrey, a nursing professor and the devoted mother of their 3 children. Missy, who tragically died from surgery for a brain tumor at the age of 17, and her brothers Bill and Scott. The Winfreys were world travelers, but one of their favorite trips was in a pop-up camper exploring the American West and skiing the Rockies. Bill joined Rotary in January of 1966. He was a Paul Harris and Club Foundation Fellow. As a Rotarian, he spearheaded the first parkours at the River Parks, one of Rotary's projects. Bill loved to sail, ski, and golf. He was an avid supporter of the University of Tulsa Golden Hurricane. A great storyteller and a strict adherent to the 4-way test. In his view of natural order, birds, not squirrels, are sustained by the seeds in the backyard feeder. Therefore, he kept an underpowered BB gun near the back door to gently remind greedy, fluffy-tailed rodents of this simple truth. He was preceded in death by his first wife, Mary Jane, and daughter, Missy. Survivors include his sons, Scott and Bill, his 3 grandchildren, and second wife, Terry. Please note that Bill asked to honor his memory by contributing to the Rotary Foundation. Therefore, be it resolved that the Rotary Club of Tulsa extends our deepest sympathy to Bill's family and many friends. Please stand and share a moment of silence as we approve this resolution.
Thank you, Chuck. You know, Bill was a great Rotarian. He's one of these people that had a great Rotary story, as genuine as a man as you'll ever meet, and you know, we miss him. We miss having him around. He was a good guy. So a couple announcements today. So in 2 weeks, on October 25th, is Business Visitation Day. Sign-up cards are on your table, or you can sign up on DACDB if you prefer, but I encourage you to sign up. This is a great opportunity to go visit someone's business, maybe a business you don't know about, opportunity to learn something about that business, and even more important, to learn something about that Rotarian. So I encourage you to sign up. I think we have about 14 businesses that have signed up, and so they'd love to host you. Do not show up here on October 25th. Please, there will be nobody here to greet you. Yearling University is meeting again on October 24th. So a couple weeks from now, a couple weeks from yesterday, at 5:30 at the 810 building. If you're a yearling, please put that on your calendar. If you're not a yearling, please put that on your calendar. It's a great way to do 2 things. One, be reminded of all the great things we're doing in our club through our different committees. And 2, to meet some great new Rotarians. So don't feel like you have to be a yearling to go to this. I encourage you to go. I went to the last one, and they are awesome fun. Okay, Sarge. Has anyone seen Sarge? Sarge. Uh-oh, this could be awkward.
Oh, there we go. Can I get through there?
We got 3 stand-ins if you're
Did we play the ET trailer?
Do what? Where is Sarge? Sarge! There he is. My buddy.
little exciting this week, Mike. It's October.
Yes.
It's Halloween.
Yes.
50 years later. It's time for a sequel. It's time for E.T. 2025. The
Ah.
technology's incredible. No more bikes.
Charles, you understand that's Yoda, not E.T., right?
Well, I figured that 50 years later, this is what E.T. will look like. Plus, I'm thinking of generation things. We
Experience it again for the first time.
looked me in the eyes and he said, I got 3 words for you. Dinner theater.
So,
After I grasped there was only 2, then I said, good idea. And I said, what about 3 more words? Lunchtime production.
yes, are we still planning that?
Right now it's
A
going
lunchtime
down.
musical?
In fact,
Rotary
this would be
lunchtime
like
musical.
This is one of the scenes, like, for instance, okay, here, watch. E.T., we can't phone home. There's not buy rates. We can only text. That was pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
They-
and I really think Steven
I don't think they got
Spielberg is
that
gonna
one.
he's going to be really excited. Was it Spielberg that did this?
I'm sorry?
Spielberg did this, didn't he? Yeah,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, well then there's the big finale scene. Stage set. I need stage set. This is the most prolific moment of the movie.
Oh, there we go. Nice. Nice, yes.
That was pretty exciting, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I have a question, if I may.
E.T. phone home.
Yes.
I got to practice on my dual voice. E.T.
Yes.
text home.
So, you've got a hoodie on, and under the hoodie I see hair.
Well, I'm Elliot at 52 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know.
Okay.
So,
I just wonder what was
so
going on there.
Thinking outside the box.
You're doing good.
And Jeff Hassel's such a big, Star Wars fan. All right, Jeff, where are you, baby? There you are. All right. So I figured he'd appreciate Yoda and help me on an attorney thing in case they do a cease and desist.
You may need that. You may need that help.
I spend hours walking thinking these things through.
Do you really?
I really do.
It's time well spent, believe me.
It really is. Especially when people look at me and they drive by and they swerve towards me.
I can only
Okay.
imagine, yeah. Are you
Even
on
with
a
this great
leash?
production we still have. Carl, you didn't throw your $100 bill at me. Man, I'm hurt. Okay. He said he's going to throw a $100 bill at me, maybe later on. Nonetheless, Bean Sergeant Arms, let's get to business. We got some exciting stuff going on here. What am I hitting? You like the hair? I used to have this much hair back in the day. Speaking of hair, though, good segue, Dave. Here's our good friend Chris McCown, who is going to be chairing Shop with a Cop. And in his younger days, he was a party hound, apparently, and he's doing $44 for his 44th birthday. And he looks fabulous as he's standing next to Fabio. And the look on his face, it's like, oh my gosh, the partying we could do together if my wife wasn't here. I mean, just look at that look. Oh my gosh, did I get married too soon? Fabio's looking at him going, you got married right when you needed to. So anyway,
Wow,
so
you read a lot
thank you
into
very much,
that.
Chris. Where are you, buddy? There you are. All right. Thank you very much for that. All right, we do have football tickets, and the football I don't know if anybody even cares. You lose one game, and Oklahoma pretty much it's just like, oh my gosh, state of depression. But anyway, OU Texas Tech, it could actually be a fun game. And so we've got those available, so anybody would like to bid today. Also, speaking of tickets, Brad Anthemanthan, which I never say his last name right.
Oh, you did pretty
Am
good.
I close?
Anthemanthan.
Anthemanthan. Well, I've got football tickets for TU's game this Saturday on the 45-yard line, right? So
Yes.
So he'll have, and they include a parking pass.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
But
But
I was partying with ET last night, celebrating his homecoming.
Yes.
Since it's also TU's homecoming this weekend, Oklahoma State's homecoming this weekend. And I kind of messed up when I grabbed the tickets out on my way out the door. I grabbed the Navy tickets, which we would like to forget the TU Navy game completely.
We can sell those too.
I will fix it.
David calls
And
them the
we will
midshipmen.
get the correct tickets to the high bidder for these.
Oh, high bid? We're going to bid it out?
Yeah.
All right.
Why not?
And who are they playing this weekend?
Houston.
Oh, that's a pretty good game.
Yeah, it'll be a good game. And all the money.
45-yard line?
45-yard line, 20 rows up, west side, so you're not exposed to the sun. Game time is 2:30, I believe.
All right.
And
Miles
3
up.
o'clock, I'm sorry.
Oh, 3 o'clock. I thought you were already bidding.
Yeah, that's a bid. That's a bid.
We got 300 right here.
Wow, okay, $1,000. Thanks, Bill.
And whatever we raise is going to go to the community fund. So rock on, Charles
All right, well,
Elliott.
where do you want to start the bidding at? They're your tickets. Give me a number.
I don't care.
You don't care.
Nah.
100.
100 right there?
Whoa.
You guys,
I knew I loved
we
you.
obviously don't have people who go to these bidding things very often because everybody's putting their hand up. Okay, and no monies are involved. So anyway, 25, 35, 45, 50. How about $50? Matt Davis, $50. Anybody want to outbid this young man? Matt, congratulations. You just got your 2 tickets too.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you very much. All right, we continue on. All right, this is my photo of the week. And I got this invitation in the mail. It says save the date. It is for this Friday the 13th. And because it is Halloween, I don't know if you can notice back there, but Jason from Friday the 13th is also in the picture. So it could be a short-lived marriage, not divorce-related, just short-lived overall. So anyway, that's my pick of the week. And I was asked at the last minute to give a notice out. You all see that you have little things with the Mercedes-Benz on there. This is for the medical supplies network, yes. So they would like for you to think about doing the raffle there, and they have a work day this week with coffee and donuts. I mean, you can't work without coffee and donuts. So they'd love for you to sign up and join them as well. So
That's on
anyway-
November 11th.
Oh, is it? I
Yes.
was just given this about 2 minutes ago. Literally drove by. Rochelle threw it at me. It was amazing.
Okay, no, I'm just helping you out here.
I appreciate that help. I need all the help. And I'm done, right? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Elliot. We appreciate
That
you.
was exciting. And by the way, this thing kind of rocks. It's from Sooner Mobility. I had to give them a plug. But, you know, if I crank
Along
this
with
thing
your
up,
credit card.
They got a turtle and a hare. I was doing the turtle. Here comes the hare. Here we go.
Whoa,
Look at
wow, yeah.
Pretty exciting, right? Kathy's going, I want one for free. All right, you all have a great day.
Okay, Stephanie, you're up next after that, huh? Yeah, I know, it is, it is. First, I'm going to introduce you, Cayenne. So yeah, we're going to get into our program now. Our Rotarian of the day is Cayenne Camus. So Cayenne serves as Deputy Chief of Economic Development at the Mayor's Office for the City of Tulsa. In this role, she is responsible for working with existing industry in Tulsa as they expand, as well as with new businesses and site location consultants as they evaluate sites nationally and internationally for expansion and relocation. In addition to working directly with business prospects, Cayenne is responsible for evaluating the city's economic development toolbox to determine how the city can create an environment that fosters job growth in high-wage target industries. Prior to serving in the mayor's office, Cayenne served as Vice President of Economic Development for the Tulsa Regional Chamber. Please join me in welcoming to the podium our own Cayenne.
Thanks so much, Mike. I was thinking last night, how do I introduce Stephanie? And the first thing that came to mind was whenever I am thinking that I just have a crazy schedule and that I'm overwhelmed and exhausted, I just say to myself, at least I'm not Stephanie Cameron, because that girl is so busy, and I honestly don't know how she fits in everything that she does. In my role at the chamber, I had the honor of working with Stephanie a lot, because she's so active in the manufacturing industry, and I manage the Chamber's Manufacturers Council, and she really, I can't say enough about all of the phenomenal things that she does in the community. And even though she's from Georgia, you probably couldn't find somebody who's more committed to the success of Tulsa. So I'll launch into her formal bio, but it's been an honor getting to know Stephanie over the past few years, and I'm always envious of her ability to just continue and keep going and doing more. So Stephanie serves as Community Affairs Director for APSCO Manufacturing and State Director for Dream It, Do It, Oklahoma, and OK to Grow. Prior to this role, Cameron held a position as a Corporate Market Director for the American Heart Association and worked as a recruiter in the staffing industry. She received a degree in International Affairs from the University of Georgia and is a big sister for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Cameron serves various nonprofits and organizations in the community, including, and this is where she gets worn out, the Tulsa Global Alliance, the Union Schools Education Foundation, Chair of TIPROS, the Rotary Club of Tulsa, the Oklahoma Academy, Leadership Oklahoma, the Tulsa Regional Chamber, Impact Tulsa, TCC Signature Symphony, Girl Scouts of Eastern Oklahoma, the Manufacturing Institute, the Hispanic American Foundation, the Center for Legislative Excellence, the State Chamber of Oklahoma, and the Tulsa Area Manufacturers Association and the Tulsa Regional STEM Alliance. That's a long list. She's fabulous. Stephanie was named as one of the YWCA's 2017 Women of the Year, Oklahoma Magazine's 2017 40 Under 40, the Journal Record's 2016 Women of the Year, Tulsa World's People to Watch in 2016, a 2016 Journal Record Achiever Under 40, a 2015 National Women in Manufacturing Step Ahead Award winner, 2015 Woman of Distinction, Tulsa Business and Legal News 2014 40 Under 40, and she has received awards for outstanding achievement in fundraising and is a member of Leadership Oklahoma Class 29, had to get my numerals right, and Leadership Tulsa Class of 50. It's my pleasure to get to be up here and introduce, and I'll now turn it over to Stephanie.
Thank you, Cayenne, for the warm introduction. It's really an honor to be able to share information between two of my favorite organizations, TIPROS and the Rotary Club of Tulsa. I do want to give a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm quieting a cough, so if I cough in your ears, I apologize. I did turn down some concert tickets last night to spare my voice for this, so this is a commitment. To tell a little bit of my story, so I moved to Tulsa when I was 24 years old, and I will say Barney James was my first employer in Tulsa. Thank you, Barney, for giving me the chance. Tulsa was a very different city then, and so a lot of people had told me about this organization called TIPROS. When I moved to Tulsa, I knew one person. And through this organization, I met most of the people that I know now. I became exposed to a lot of the organizations that I now volunteer for. So I think TIPROS truly is a game changer for our city. Now, after volunteering for 8 years, I'm honored to serve as chair of the organization. TIPROS, as it stands today, has over 9,000 members. It is truly a dynamic force within our community and gives us leverage over other cities, and it makes us more competitive. We are fortunate as a young professional organization to be part of the Tulsa Regional Chamber. This really sets us apart from other young professional organizations across the country. We do have 2 staff members. One of them is here today, Maggie Hoy, who you saw earlier. She's the executive director of TIPROS. Most of our events are free to attend. That is a difference maker. A lot of young professionals starting out in their careers may not have the resources that other people have, and so to be able to have a network that's available, that's free, is huge. We also have a lot of opportunities to advance and connect within the community, and that really sets TIPROS apart. The mission of TIPROS is to attract and retain young creative talent to our region, develop the next generation of leaders, and enhance Tulsa's sense of place. This has really evolved over time. So what we're doing is celebrating Tulsa. And I think that's really what's changed over the time that I've lived in Tulsa, is that it is really a fantastic place to be, and it is a great time to be here. So what we're doing as an organization, we are promoting the awesomeness of Tulsa. We are driving change in the community, and we want to be a resource to all young talent. So when you think about people who work for you, people who you are related to, this is a great connector for people who are moving to Tulsa, who may be coming back to Tulsa, or who are still here. And so we do this work through 8 different committees. And so we have different focus areas. We call them crews because that's hip. And so one of our crews is the diversity crew. So this is a core value for our organization. We know this is something important to the emerging generation. And so we try and have a lot of candid dialogue in a safe space to help celebrate each other, to learn about each other. Our diversity crew leads a series called Perspectives, and so we may talk about different ethnicities, different religious organizations. And so just to have conversations, learn, experience. They've also started a food-related series, which is one of my favorites. It's called Worldly Fare. And so we were able to go out to the Turkish Raindrop House. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to visit, but it is fantastic. They prepared a wonderful meal for us and were so welcoming. And then we got to learn and have conversations. And so this is really celebrating the differences among us. And I know this is also something that's a core value for the Rotary Club of Tulsa. We also have an arts and entertainment crew, and so this is all about celebrating artists within our community. We have a thriving art scene here in Tulsa between film, visual arts, connecting with arts organizations. This is another big initiative. So connecting with the Tulsa Ballet, the Arts Alliance, to be able to share opportunities with our members and to learn and understand what's happening and how to be involved, how to be a better advocate for artists in our community. They also lead a Next Now fashion series, and so we've done things from mural competitions to we're doing a food truck themed fashion show here coming up. I'll be promoting that here in a minute. And so allowing creativity, that's a lot of what we're trying to do. A lot of people in our demographic may not think they fit the professional side of things, but we really want them to come share with us. We want them to be part of us. And so this is a fantastic opportunity. We also have an urbanist crew. We do a series throughout the year called Street Cred, and this is an urban revitalization project. We have gone to about 6 or 7 places throughout the city, starting with the Pearl District. And so when we did this event in the Pearl District 6 to 7 years ago, the Pearl District was a different place. And so this is an opportunity to reimagine parts of our community. And when we're able to lift up a challenged area, the whole city rises. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And so this is an opportunity to highlight this. We're able to say, hey, this is what this area could look like with, more pedestrian-friendly pathways, with businesses here in these spaces. And so we've done some on the west side. We've done 36th Street North. We've done South Downtown, which has now been proclaimed the Cathedral District. And this year we did the area around OSU Tulsa, talking about interconnectedness and highways as barriers. And so being able to create safe spaces in our community and provide connection points. They also focus on walkability, helping to create the downtown that our age group would like to have. I'd love to be able to safely ride my bike from my house to downtown. And so we're moving in that direction. And so Type Rose really provides a voice for our age demographic to be able to engage and to connect with city leaders, to connect with community leaders in a way that in other cities is not possible. And so it provides a format, and I think that's really what was so crucial to me, was to be able to say, oh, wow, here's a group of people who care about the city, and these are the ways that we can plug in and make a difference. And that's what we're all looking for. We also have our Next Generation Leadership Crew, and Hollis McAllister is here, who you saw earlier. This is all about developing the next generation of leaders. So we do a Get On Board series, which is pretty special as compared to other cities across the nation. We have partnered with Leadership Tulsa to be able to place some of our members on nonprofit boards around the community. a lot of what Type Rose is allowing our members to be able to stretch, grow, and develop in the community. And serving on a nonprofit board is a great way to get that experience. It allows them to understand the organizations in our communities. It also allows them to take on leadership roles and expand in skill sets that they may not already have. If they're in accounting, they may be able to do marketing, or maybe they just lend their skill set to the organizations that they're participating in. They also do an Unplugged series. Last night we had a fantastic event hearing from the Chief Technology Officer with Ford Motor Companies about autonomous vehicles. I thought that was maybe one of the coolest things. That's also the manufacturing nerd in me. But being able to hear, the biology that they're studying in relation to this. And so just the opportunities, that we are allowed because we work together. It's a collective impact model. And so those are some of the highlights with the Next Generation Leadership Crew. We also have a government relations crew, and we say you do not have to be an expert in the political scene to attend and learn from this crew. So it's all about education. And so being able to connect with elected officials, learning how to have those conversations, knowing who your elected officials are, how the city, the county, the state level government works, and allowing them to have a voice to say what they care about. So every year we develop an agenda to be able to take to the Capitol. And so once a year, we go to the Capitol. It's a volunteer thing. We take close to 100 young professionals to Oklahoma City. And so we hear from speakers, and then we teach them how to lobby. And so being able to say, okay, how do you address your legislator? And being able to connect and say, these are the things that I'm passionate about that matter to me. And so when it comes to education and downtown development, all of those things, we want to equip our members with the skill set that they need to be able to have those conversations. We also have a business development crew, and so this is all about networking, professional development, and then they also have done the very well-known Bring It to Tulsa campaigns. So how many of you in the room have used Uber? Anybody? Okay, that's a lot of people. So Type Rose was instrumental in bringing Uber to Tulsa. And so we did this a lot through a social media campaign and being able to download the app and being able to request rides to say, hey, this many people in Tulsa need this. We also led a campaign to bring Trader Joe's to Tulsa. How many of you have been to Trader Joe's? Yeah. And so saying, a lot of us visit other cities, and to be able to put a rallying cry together to say, hey, we'd really like to have this in our community is big. And we do that a lot through social media. And so we are partnering with the City of Tulsa now on the Amazon proposals. We have tried to work more strategically with the Chamber of Commerce and the City of Tulsa on their economic development plans to be able to make an impact, to show up when site selectors visit to say, hey, we have a strong, thriving young professional group that would love to have more of your employees here and to help you find them. We also have a sustainability crew, and so this is all environmentally focused, helping businesses be more sustainable, also sustainable living. This is something that's really important to our demographic as well. They've started an adventure series, so for the outdoors people who may be moving to Tulsa and say, hey, I'd like to go hiking, but I don't know anybody here, so can you go hiking with me? That was something that was really cool for me. So going out to our local parks, getting out to Tallgrass Prairie, Willow Rock, seeing some of the amazing things that we have in our area. And so our focus areas this year have to do with professional development. So we have some opportunities for our members to be able to do some vertical networking in an intentional and purposeful way. And so we do a series called All Access. And so we bring in CEOs of local businesses, and then we're also doing this with elected officials. So to be able to sit down, how many people our age get to sit with a CEO and say, hey, what are you reading? Hey, how do you do the work-life balance? Where did you start in your career? So these are excellent opportunities. We are also doing a professional development series, which is free for our members. We did a survey with area businesses to say, hey, what are your employees lacking? And then we surveyed our members to say, where would you like to grow? And so we're doing this series based on those survey results. We also I mentioned our Get On Board program earlier. We will be launching that here again in the fall. It's coming up very quickly. We also focus on volunteer opportunities for our members, and so we know this is really important in engaging our demographic, and this is something to put out to you all because I know a lot of you serve with area nonprofits, and we take applications quarterly for service days, and so we need more nonprofit applications. And so what this looks like is that we will send a group of young professionals to help volunteer on the requested date. And so we have served the Foundation for Tulsa Schools and the Gatesway Balloon Festival so far. So keep that in mind. Feel free to reach out to any of us when that opportunity comes up, because we'd love to go out, get our members engaged with area nonprofits. We also do a lot of education and engagement, and a lot of that has to do with our civic engagement pieces. So I mentioned that every year we develop an agenda, and this is based on the Tulsa Regional Chamber's One Voice agenda as well. But we bring together a group of people. We do a survey every year to say, hey, what are the issues that are important to you? This is the time for you to share. If it's education, if it's downtown development, if it's more walkable communities, that's their chance to participate and give back. We have done a lot around voter engagement, and so this was our prime focus last year, and we'll be probably moving some into 2018. So we have been able to make some huge strides with young professional voter turnout. And so in some of the races last year, we saw as much as 50% increases in our age group turning out to vote. We know there's a special election coming up on November 14th that we will also be pushing some messaging out around. But this is going to be a continued focus for us. We partnered with education institutions. We held parties last year. We did voter registration drives at community events like Hop Jam or Mayfest. So lots of opportunities to engage there. We use that in communicating with our elected officials on our day at the Capitol. So fantastic opportunities there. A few years ago, how many of you have heard of the Type Rose Foundation? Hands. Probably not as many. It's a new organization. So a few years ago, a friend of mine by the name of Isaac Rocha, and then the then executive director, Shaga Zakarian, had an idea to create a foundation for Type Rose. Since Type Rose is part of the chamber, we wanted to have something where we could help fuel the creativity and the cool ideas that are brought up by our members and then across the city. This is really unique in that with this foundation, we are able to fund individual ideas. So it doesn't have to be an organization coming to us and asking for something. This is a differentiator. And so someone can come up and say, hey, I really like to start this raft race again. And we can say, yeah, we can give you some money to help with that. They can say, I want to paint a mural of Bill Hader on the side of a building. Yep, we can help you do that. And we've had ideas like, and this was one that unfortunately the person wasn't willing to execute all the way, but it was a good idea. And it was an art vending machine to help fund public art in Tulsa public schools. And so to be able to fund the art programs. And so it was going to be that the TPS students would create pieces of art. They would go in vending machines at coffee shops and bars and other places around town, and you can, put your credit card in, whatever, and fund TPS art programs. Unfortunately, that's one of our criteria is that you have to be able and willing to execute the plan or the idea that you put forth. But we helped fund the Tulsa flag. We have helped with the Outsiders House. And so think about that moving forward. If you know people with creative ideas or who would like to see something come to fruition here in town, this is a fantastic venue and vehicle for it. We have accepted ideas through both Twitter and Facebook, and then written as well. But this is about a 3-year-old organization, and they've been able to do some really cool things. And this is, there's one based out of Cincinnati that is kind of similar, but this is an unusual aptitude, ability that we have to be able to fuel these ideas that can make Tulsa awesome. And so that's really the mission of the Type Rose Foundation, is making Tulsa awesome. So keep your eyes out for that. Lots of opportunities there. We do about 100 events a year, and lots of cool things coming up this fall. We have a Type Rose Perspective series, which is led by our diversity crew, as I mentioned. This is perspectives of LGBT people of color. The other neat thing about Type Rose is that we usually get people out to places where they might not go otherwise. So some people may never have been to the Dennis Neal Equality Center. So we try and have our meetings in places that will educate people, help connect them to our city. And so if you have any of your employees or family members that you would like to encourage to come out, it's really easy to join Type Rose. All you have to do is sign up for the newsletter. Again, it's free, which is the key. And we send out weekly updates. We have a newsletter that provides all of the weekly activities that are coming up. It's a great way to stay in touch, see what's going on. There's no attendance requirement either for Type Rose, so it's come and go. We don't shame you if you have to travel for work or any of that stuff. It's, hey, when you can, please come. We want you to join us. To share a little bit of information too, and I know Rotary's been working on some of this, we have started an ambassador program for Type Rose, and that is, people designated to look for new people when they show up to things. Because showing up to an event for a first time can be intimidating. I think a lot of us know that. But having people assigned to say, hey, let me introduce you here. What brought you out tonight? What are you interested in? And so we're working on that program's about a year old, and we've done some specific events just to welcome people. But we know, we want people to come back. We want people to have a good experience, and so we've designated some people to focus on that. And so we have a group of about 25 or so that do that. We, as I mentioned, we set a legislative agenda every year that also can apply to city ordinances and things too. This policy setting agenda, which is, we say young and young at heart, is anyone who can come to Type Rose events. So we would welcome anyone Tuesday, October 17th at the Stokely Event Center. I mentioned the food truck themed fashion show. That's what this is going to be. It's going to be at Guthrie Green. Again, open to the public. We have Type Rose All Access elected officials coming up at Tulsa Country Club on November 2nd. And then we have our Type Rose Boomtown Awards, which is celebrating people who exemplify our mission in the community. It's also our fundraiser for the Type Rose Foundation. And I want to say thank you so much for your time. It truly is an honor to serve as Type Rose Chair and to share information with you all. Also love Rotary, so thank you for letting me be here today. Any questions? And I think we do have time for 1 or 2 questions. I saw Michael, I think, first. The question was it a fellow Rotarian who helped launch Type Rose at the Chamber? I know Sheila Curley, Brian Paschal was a former executive director of Type Rose, but it was Matt Pavarnik, Sheila Curley, and Shane Fernandez, I think, and there were a few others that were part of starting Type Rose. And Type Rose has been around for 12 years. The question was, how much communication is there between Type Rose and young professional organizations in other cities? It varies. We have hosted other young professional groups. We just hosted a group from Tacoma, Washington recently. We've hosted groups from Wichita. We are hosting an Oklahoma City exchange next week. So we have some calls. We host visits. We've also visited with them. There's not necessarily a national young professional organization. It would be fantastic if there was, to share some best practices and things like that. One more? You said there were around 9,000 members. What's the general age range of your membership? The question was, there are 9,000 members of Type Rose. What is the age range of the membership? It would be from 20 to 45 is the bulk of it. Anybody else? All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Stephanie. You are an amazing person, as Kyan says. Kyan, you are an amazing person also. It's can be a little intimidating to be sitting up here with these two young professionals, but also very encouraging because the future looks bright for Tulsa with young ladies like this leading the way. So thank you. Thanks to both of you. Okay, and our speaker gift this week to our adopted school, Celia Clinton, is the book A Good Story. So we'll have you autograph that and say a few words in that, please. And upcoming programs. Next week, we have the incoming chair for Type Rose, Moises God, I get his, I know, I get it every time. I've been practicing it too. Echeverria. He's president and CEO, thank you. President and CEO of OCCJ. So he's going to come and visit with us. And OCCJ's mission is to promote positive relations between all people. And Moises is a voice for this organization that promotes diversity and inclusion in our community. And with recent developments in the country and in our city, Moises' message will be especially meaningful and timely, and I think going along kind of with what Stephanie's led us into here. So that'll be a great program next week. Come hear Moises. And then the next week, again, is Business Visitation Day, so sign up to go visit some Rotarian businesses, and do not show up here, please. And that's it. Thank you for attending our meeting. I encourage you, again, to go out, tell your Rotary story to someone, and don't forget to bring a friend to Rotary next week.